Arranged marriages have their challenges, my love. It has been incredibly difficult for you to navigate through those standards, especially when your heart yearned for something different. Someone different. Taehyung nods, a heaviness in his chest. I never wanted to disappoint father, but in the process, I ended up disappointing myself. Mrs. Kim is a wonderful person, and I care about her in some way, but it was never a love that blossomed naturally. I thought I could find happiness in other ways, but it always left me feeling empty. Mother squeezes him gently, understanding the complexity of his emotions. Love, life is too short to live someone else's expectations. I know you respect your father, but still. Jungkook might be the key to discovering a love that is genuine and fulfilling. It's a chance for you to choose your own path and define your own happiness. Taehyung looks at his mother, a mixture of gratitude and vulnerability in his eyes. I hope so, Mom. I've been living in this shadow for too long. I want to be true to myself, even if it means facing difficult choices and conversations. Mother smiles, her support unwavering. You always have my support, Taehyung, in whatever path you choose. And remember, breaking free from the past doesn't mean you're abandoning your responsibilities. It means you're embracing the opportunity to live a life that aligns with your true self. In the soft glow of the tea room, Mrs. Kim leans forward, her eyes filled with maternal concern. Taehyung, facing the truth can be daunting, but remember, you have the right to seek happiness and live authentically. It's never too late to make choices that align with your heart. Taehyung takes a deep breath, appreciating his mother's unwavering support. Thanks, Mom. It's just, Mrs. Kim deserves to be happy too, and I can't shake the guilt. I want to be fair to her, but I also need to be true to myself. Mother nods, her expression understanding. It's commendable that you're considering Mrs. Kim's feelings. Honesty and compassion will be crucial in navigating this delicate situation. It's a difficult conversation, but it's necessary for both of you to find the happiness you deserve. You need to talk to her. Oh, believe me, I tried so many times, Mom. Taehyung laughs darkly, a sense of frustration evident in his voice. Talking to Mrs. Kim's been harder than I expected. She's convinced that I'm just going through a midlife crisis, and every time I try to explain my feelings, she dismisses it as some sort of a phase. It's disheartening. Mother listens attentively, her brow furrowed with concern. Love, it's not uncommon for people to resist change, especially when it challenges the foundation they built their lives upon. So this crazy woman of yours, she may need time to understand. Taehyung nods, chuckling tiredly. I've tried, Mom. But she also insists that Jungkook is only interested in my money, that he's taking advantage of me. It's hurtful, and I don't want to believe it, but it's creating some doubt. Because, honestly, at first our relationship really was built on money. But it's different now. Mother sighs. Taehyung, love, sometimes people say hurtful things out of fear and frustration. Mrs. Kim might be struggling to accept the reality of the situation. Keep trying to communicate with her, but also be patient. It's a process, and change takes time. Taehyung hesitates, then continues. And Jungkook, Mom, I'm afraid Mrs. Kim's accusations might have some truth to them. What if Jungkook is just interested in our family's wealth? It's a thought that's been haunting me since she said that. Mother, though disappointed in Mrs. Kim's response, maintains a composed demeanor. As Taehyung expresses his concerns, she can't help but let a hint of wry humor color her words. It's natural to have doubts, my love, especially when faced with conflicting emotions. But, Taehyung, my love, I've never been Mrs. Kim's biggest fan, as you well know, she begins, her tone gracious but laced with veiled irony. But this, accusing Jungkook of ulterior motives? That's a bit too much. I must say, she's always had a flair for the dramatic. Taehyung manages a small smile, appreciating the touch of humor in his mother's words. You've never been subtle about your feelings towards Mrs. Kim, mother chuckled softly. Well, my instincts about people have rarely failed me. But let's focus on what matters now. Mrs. Kim's accusations are unfounded, and I believe in your ability to navigate through this with grace. It's just frustrating, Mom. I never expected her to be so cynical about everything. Taehyung nods. Mother leans forward, a glint of mischief in her eyes. Love, some people find it difficult to see beyond their own insecurities. Mrs. Kim, unfortunately, seems to be one of those people. But you, my dear, are not defined by her perceptions. Your happiness and the authenticity of your relationships are what matter, she continues with a sly smile. I may not have approved of Mrs. Kim from the beginning, but accusing Jungkook of being a gold digger without reason? That's a new low, even for her. Taehyung can't help but chuckle at his mother's candid commentary. Mom, you never fail to surprise me, his mother's smile softens. Well, my love, life is too short to dance around the truth. Now, focus on what lies ahead. Talk to Jungkook, be honest with him, and let the pieces fall where they may. As for Mrs. Kim, well, she'll have to come to terms with her own choices. Taehyung takes a deep breath, grateful for his mother's understanding. I would love to talk to him, Mom, but it's more difficult than it seems. I care about Jungkook a lot, and I guess he cares about me too. But I find myself causing him pain again and again. It's like I'm afraid to fully embrace what I feel. And with Mrs. Kim, it's not making things any easier. The guilt and confusion are tearing me apart, nods empathetically. Love, navigating the complexities of the heart is never easy. It's clear that you're in a challenging situation, torn between different emotions and responsibilities. It's okay to be afraid, Taehyung, but don't let fear dictate your actions. You owe it to yourself and those involved to confront the truth, however difficult it may be. Taehyung looks down, a conflicted expression on his face. I know, Mom. I just don't want to hurt him, but it seems like no matter what I do, one of us ends up in pain. Sometimes, pain is an unavoidable part of growth and change, baby. What's important is how you navigate through it, with honesty and compassion. You can't control everything, my love, but you can control how you handle the situation and the decisions you make. I guess you're right, yeah, her eyes reflecting both concern and understanding. Taehyung, love, when you say one of you ends up in pain, can you elaborate on what kind of pain you mean? Taehyung hesitates, grappling with the weight of his emotions. It's both, Mom. There's the emotional pain, the guilt I feel for causing Jungkook distress. And then, there's the physical pain too. She glances at him, a slight frown on her face, a silent question. Taehyung takes a deep breath, mustering the courage to share the more intimate details with his mother. Well, I guess I have to be completely honest at this point. Some of the physical pain I'm talking about is, well, it's real pain that I've caused Jungkook. There have been times when our interactions turned physical, and it's left both of us with more than just emotional scars. but especially him. His mother's eyes widen slightly, processing the unexpected revelation. She maintains her composure, recognizing the sensitivity of the topic. Taehyung, my love, relationships can be intense, both emotionally and physically. It's a challenging terrain to navigate, and it's commendable that you're opening up about it. What specifically is causing this pain, may I ask? Did you hit him? Taehyung's cheeks flush with embarrassment, but he pushes through. No. No, God, I would never. I've just let my fear and confusion affect our intimacy, Mom. There have been moments when I was unsure about my feelings, and it led to, well, moments of physical pain. I never meant to hurt him, but it happened, and in the moment, we were both drowning in it, and I was sure we were both enjoying it, but now I can't shake the guilt. Maybe I crossed the line at some point. Mother maintains her understanding gaze, realizing the vulnerability in Taehyung's admission. Love, your actions indeed could have the impact on those you care about. You should try to create an environment of trust. Have you talked to Jungkook about this, my dear? Taehyung, still grappling with the weight of his confession, continues. I wanted to, but he disappeared after that night. He left, and I've been trying to reach him ever since. It's like he vanished, Mom, and I can't help but feel responsible for pushing him away with my own hands. Literally, his mouth's expression shifts from understanding to concern. Oh, Taehyung, I didn't realize. Why didn't you tell me he disappeared? Is that why you haven't been at the office for some time? Taehyung nods, his gaze fixed on the tabletop. Yes. I didn't know how. I've been overwhelmed with guilt and worry. And I didn't want to burden you with all this. So yes, I didn't tell at first when I told you about him. Her hand gently squeezing Taehyung. Love, you're never a burden. I'm your mother, and I want to help you through these challenges. You'll find a way to reach Jungkook and address the issues at hand, okay? Have an open conversation with him and ensure that both of you are on the same page. Taehyung looks up, his eyes reflecting a mixture of gratitude and sadness. I just don't want to lose him, Mom. I care about Jungkook more than I ever thought I could. And the thought of him leaving because of my own mistakes is tearing me apart. Taehyung looks down, a mixture of shame and regret in his eyes. He deserves someone who can offer him true love without reservation, not someone who's constantly torn by their own uncertainties.